Hello everyone, my name is Julia and today I will be giving you an introduction to some GeoGebra classic basics. I will note at the beginning of this video I am using the GeoGebra Classic 6 version, the downloadable version. There's several other options available. There is a sole web application and there's several other different downloadable options. Now when I first opened GeoGebra, this is the screen that I opened to. So we can see here that I have my graph, and this is what we call my input box over here on the left hand side. So I can input information into this two ways. So I click on it and I can go down here to this little keyboard option in the lower left hand corner. So I can click on that and there comes up a bunch of different operations and numbers available. Or I could just use my keyboard, and that's what I'll be doing for right now. So to see how this works, I'll just type in something simple. So I'll just put in y equals x squared plus 1. And I'm going to press enter. And there is my graph over on our page over here to the right. Now I can actually make this graph disappear and reappear by clicking this button next to my function. So if I click it once, it disappears, and if I click it again, it actually reappears. Now, one interesting thing that GeoGebra does, it has this thing called sliders, and that is to change the value of different variables of a function or different things in the function. So let's take, for instance, the general slope formula. So I have y equals mx plus b. So I input that into my input bar over there on the left, and I press enter. And see a whole bunch of different sliders come up, and I can move these around and manipulate that. I'm going to hide my first function, so I can just focus on this and manipulate it to see how my graph changes. And so that's a really cool thing about GeoGebra. And so this is the general graphing function of GeoGebra. So I am going to open a new screen. I'm going to go, and so this is my opening page again, and I'm going to go explore the geometry option that GeoGebra has to offer. So I can use a whole bunch of different tools for the geometry option. For now, I am just going to create a really general triangle. So let's take a segment. We can use lines, but I'm going to take a segment right now. And so I'm going to do point A to point B, and then point B, and create a point C, and point C back to point A. And so I have myself a triangle. And I can actually fill in this triangle by selecting the polygon option. So I have A to B to C and back to A. And so I have a polygon. And so what I can do, I could have done this before, but I can do it now as well. I can move my triangle around, change the points, change the angles, and speaking of angles, I can actually input angle values by selecting the angle option up here on the taskbar, and I'll hit A, B, C, and so as you can see, that actually did my exterior angle of this figure. Now, that's the trick with GeoGebra. It depends on what point you select first as to which the exterior or interior it will register. So now I'm going to figure out the interior. So I'll do it backwards. So I'll start from C this time, and I'll go to B, and I'll go back to A. And you see this time it gives us the interior angle value. And now we can also, with this, we can move around our angle measurements so we can see those better, and we have ourselves a triangle. Now, one of the interesting features that GeoGebra has to offer is the perpendicular and parallel line segment option. Now, with this, we know that doing these things by hand, we can often find it difficult to get things precise, but GeoGebra is really cool and allows it to do it for you. So that's the geometry option, and we can also do sliders and text on this as well. So let's open a new page, and now we are going to explore the 3D graphics option that GeoGebra has. So I'm going to open my 3D graphics, And you see here we have our X, Y, and Z plane. And so we are looking at this, and it doesn't go out to infinity, but we can see a pretty good picture of it so far. So just like in the regular graphing version, I'm going to go over here to my taskbar, and I'm going to do x squared, and you can see our graph is starting to come alive, plus y squared. Oh, it's getting bigger, and plus z squared, and then we have our sphere. So I'm going to press enter, and there we have it, our sphere on our plane. And see, I can move this around, see it from different angles. And yes, this is the 3D graphing option. Now let's say I wanted to go back and open a new window. I can actually do that. And we can save and open new files, and we can export the image. We can also download and print. And this is all in the downloadable option. One thing that we can also do is we can also save this if we have an online account. We can also save this to our online bank so we can actually access this anywhere. So yeah, that is the general applications to GeoGebra Classic 6. Thank you.